Hi, my name is Nick Schley. I'm currently living in Gunnison, Colorado while attending Western State Colorado University. I recently turned 19 on the 3rd of January, and I am interested in an ARI Level 2 course. The mountains have done more to shape my life in the past 6 years than I would have ever believed anything could. At the age of 19, they have already found permanent domain in my life. Growing up in Bishop, California, 14,000-foot peaks were always within poking distance, and their shorter siblings never failed in comparison. What they lacked in height was often made up in aesthetic. To me, mountains have been an employer, physical trainer, spiritual healer, and lifelong friendship maker. The lessons I have learned and the things that I have seen while traveling in them during all 4 seasons of the year are invaluable. The mountains have a way of pulling out the truest of our emotions, ones that seem to live far too deep inside of us while at home, on city streets, and inside the classroom. I feel truly blessed to have experienced their splendor with many of my closest friends, and I aspire to live a life that allows me to continue moving safely throughout them until my body is no longer able. I bought my first pair of skis in the 7th grade at a yard sale for $5. They were JF Cousin Pro Model Salomon 1080s, purple with orange line drawings of Transformer-like robots on their top sheet. It may seem cliche, but since that day my life has never been the same. As a 5-foot, 5-inch, 12-year-old, they stood tall over my head at 182 centimeters, but their twin-tip design was just like that of those I saw on all of my then favorite pro skiers, who I stood next to in the lift lines and would watch cruise Mammoth Mountain's notorious unbound terrain park every weekend. After adjusting their bindings myself, unsupervised, in my dad's garage to a pair of packed-out Nordic boots that I had picked up from the thrift store for $10, I quickly received a lesson on how long skis truck and short skis suck the following weekend. Those 1080s ended up sliding me down my first handrails, flying me over my first 50-foot jumps, swishing me through my first gated GS turns, and most influentially, floating me through my first powder snow face shots. As if it had just happened yesterday, I can still call upon my first day of true powder skiing. If you followed me off the groomer and into the steep lodgepole glade skiers left of Chair 2's 6th lift tower, I would show you exactly where I felt the ecstasy of inhaling low-density dendrites on a deep right turn for the first time. Since that day, soft on-track snow has been one of the most sought-after things in my life. Aside from the similar feeling of flow that I experienced while riding my favorite single track through the fall colors of an aspen stand, very little can fill my soul like the purity and camaraderie of a bluebird powder day spent with a good friend. Since my beginnings as an overly excited adolescent weekend warrior, I have evolved into what I believe is a well-rounded skier. In conjunction with spending all 4 of my high school years alpine ski racing, I began telemark skiing at the age of 15. I did this not only because of my desire to learn the low and fluid turn, but also because of the life-changing wilderness experience I had received the summer before while working on a youth conservation corps trail crew in the John Muir Wilderness of the Sierra Nevadas. While spending substantial amounts of time being a steward in the wild grandeur of my backyard that summer, I had many eye-opening experiences about the true power of alpine environments. After listening to my crew leader Todd Vogel's stories about guiding multiple Trans-Sierra wilderness ski tours and standing atop some of the range's craggiest peaks in winter conditions, it became brutally evident that I needed to gain the necessary tools and techniques to begin my own wilderness skiing experience. So I spent the next season dropping knees and bounds on yet another pair of secondhand skis, becoming acquainted with different types of snow by reading books and observing while out, reading the Avalanche Bulletin, and hounding the minds of my first backcountry mentors, like ski guide Tim Villanueva. Other than a few boot packs to side country stashes, I spent my entire first season on pins in the resort, trying to gain a better understanding of how wild snow works, ski racing at a competitive level, and dreaming of the solitude and autonomy found just beyond resort boundaries. With 2 years of backcountry experience now under my belt and 3 years of enthusiasm bordering on obsession, I'm about to embark on my 3rd season of backcountry skiing in a new mountain range with new partners and just as many untracked hillsides. From the handful of ski tours that I have now been on in the 2 snowy months that I have spent in Gunnison County, I have come to realize that Colorado's continental snowpack is laden with intricacies. These intricacies that often result in instabilities can tend to make me uncomfortable and timid while spending time in the backcountry. But they also excite me because they have allowed for me to geek out on the highly dynamic nature of snow and have provided further inspiration to gain a deeper understanding of how snow, my favorite thing on earth, works. Looking back at a mountainside that is blanketed in white with 2 uniquely S-shaped signatures showing on its flanks, for me and my best friend, is the coolest thing that I have ever done, and I hope to continue doing it into the latest years of my life. Thanks for listening to Why I Love Skiing.